wieder live. Andreas, freut mich, dich zu sehen. Ich glaube, Verbindung baut noch auf. Hallo Stefan Schöne bei TikTok. Hallo Momo. Hallo Nasir. So, heute sind wir hier auf Englisch. Also das mal ganz kurz für euch Lieben, die ihr vielleicht eher Deutsch sprecht. Jetzt kommt erst die englische Sendung. Um 19 Uhr haben wir das gleiche nochmal auf Deutsch. Also schaltet auf jeden Fall ein. Das lohnt sich. Es geht um Selbstvertrauen, wie man mehr Selbstvertrauen gewinnt. Und da erfahrt ihr anwendbare Informationen. Wer jetzt beim Englischen gerne dabei bleiben möchte, ich tue mein Bestes mit deutschem Akzent. Ja, und ich freue mich auf jeden Fall, dass ihr dabei seid. So, I'm switching to English now. We have a beautiful topic tonight. We are talking about how to gain more self-confidence. And we are live on TikTok. So hello, everybody. We are live on Zoom, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Insta. So hello, everybody. This is our 99th live broadcast. And yeah, I'm happy that you are here with me. You will actually find out applicable information, applicable data, applicable information you can use in your everyday life. And it's all about self-confidence. Self-confidence is so important that when you have a lack of self-confidence, you may not really accomplish what, you know, your goals you set for yourself. You will be withdrawn in many occasions where you should actually talk to somebody. What else? You know, you can just send me a little message in the chat to tell me why you would like to have more self-confidence. This is something I'm very interested in. So why would you like to have more self-confidence in life? What are you not doing at the moment because of a lack of self-confidence? And Elisa, thank you for sending me a crown. That's very nice on TikTok. I love that. So I'm happy you are here with me. Are you also interested in the topic we are covering tonight, self-confidence? So also Andreas here. I know your English is very well, although you're German as me. Oh, by the way, I need to introduce myself. My name is Becky. And here at BestYou, we do weekly online seminars, which are for free, because we want to give you some very important knowledge you can use to improve yourself, to improve your self-confidence, to improve your life, be more happy, and do what you actually want to do. So yeah, thanks for following us on TikTok, Elisa. That's great. You will get a weekly live broadcast from us with on different topics, but it's mainly about your abilities in life, how to increase your motivation, your self-love, your confidence, and all these things. So I'm happy you're here with me right now. Andreas, what would you say? Why would you like to have more self-confidence? You're the only one on Zoom tonight, so we forgot to promote this webinar. Oh, thanks for sending hearts. That's so kind. I like that. Yeah, so let me know why you would like to have more self-confidence. What would you change if you would have more? And so we will soon start. I have two very great essays I'd like to read to you. They are taken from a course. We are also delivering in-house courses here. And the course is called How to Achieve Self-Confidence. And I did this course myself. I really had a lack of self-confidence when I was younger, and it stopped me in so many ways. I wanted to say something just as an example. I wanted to tell somebody something, and I didn't do it because I was scared of his or her reaction. And yeah, so, but I never felt good about it. I always thought like I missed out a special situation in my life, you know, maybe I didn't make a new friend. Maybe I passed a chance to get a better job offer or things like this. So yeah. And oh, here, Andrea says, thank you for putting something into the chat. So there are actually in everybody's life, of course, there are some difficult situations sometimes, and to really approach them, to handle it, to get it done. Yeah, self-confidence is really a big, you know, fortune. It's like, yeah, as I said, if you stop yourself from doing things in life. Oh, thanks, Kenny. Finally, somebody said, I like your German accent. Sometimes, you know, I hear like, oh no, your accent isn't nice. Yeah, I'm not a native speaker, that's for sure. And I know it's a weird accent, but thanks for the compliment. That's very reassuring, you know. Obviously, I'm German, so that's great. So I wanted to tell you about my problem or my question I had about self-confidence when I was younger, because I knew I had an issue with the lack of self-confidence. But when I was looking around, when I was observing other people, which I always did, Kenny, thank you. He says he loved my accent. Yes. So when I was looking around, I saw many people at that time, like friends or people I just hardly knew, but they had more self-confidence than I. And I was asking myself the question, why is that? Are they smarter? Are they, I don't know, looking prettier? Are they richer? You know, are they more capable of doing things? And so actually, it didn't make any sense to me, you know? So what is that causes you to have enough self-confidence? Kenny, thanks for sending the rose. That's too kind. And hi, Lucas. Okay, so that's a good question, isn't it? Why do people sometimes have a big self-confidence without having a real reason for it? You know, if somebody is super smart, if somebody's looking great, if somebody's very competent in life or has all these abilities, you know, to handle other people in a very great way, okay, I can understand. Yeah, that makes you feel competent and that can build up self-confidence. But that's not always the case, isn't it? Some people are not smarter than we are. Some people are less competent. Some people are, I don't know, even not as attractive as we are, and they have more self-confidence. So what is it? I was really asking myself that question many times. Finally, I found the answer to that question. And this is what I'm going to tell you about tonight. I will read something to you. I have two very nice little essays here. The first one is called Self-Confidence. So I will only give you some parts of it. The rest you can read yourself. You can always get in touch with us. We have books, and we also deliver in-house courses and extension courses you can do from home. So, self-confidence. the first time you really ever got into trouble was when you thought that you appreciating yourself was bad. That's typical of this society. You're not supposed to like you, you see. You go around and say, excuse me for being me. The use of the first person is very much frowned upon. Frowned upon means that people think bad about it. The use of the first person is very much frowned upon. Also, you find in the very vital societies of the past, the very strong ones, the ones which no one was ever able to run down. The guys used to walk out customarily. I had to look that word up, to be honest, customarily, for all the not native speakers here among us. It means it's very common. So the guys used to walk out customarily and say, well, I'll give you my opinion, and it's the opinion of the wisest and best and smartest men anywhere in this tribe. How would that sound in England or America today? And this is something that's really true, isn't it? So we are not supposed to speak about ourselves as the wisest and smartest person you've ever spoken to. Yeah? And yeah, stay with me. It's really interesting. So now he's talking about these Asian tribes of, of our history, and the knights, how they would act in front of their enemies. And I skipped that part. And then he says, they shouldn't be held up, these stories, yeah? They shouldn't be held up as any kind of model. But do you remember a time when your self-confidence was very high, when you had a great deal of confidence in yourself? You knew what you could do. You had good self-confidence. Do you remember such a time, or was it too long ago? Well, if you can spot such a time in your life, try and answer these questions. How many times since have you told people you didn't have any self-confidence? How many times have you been very careful not to have any? How many times have you falsely and needlessly sought for somebody's opinion on something? You don't want their opinion, but you go around and say, I would like to have your opinion of this. You know what would happen if you would customarily say to people, I'm probably the most skilled practitioner in the field of anywhere on the East Coast. Imagine that, yeah? You would go around and tell people you are the most skilled practitioner in the field of whatever. Would you ever say something like this to other people? Or would you rather reduce your own self-confidence? Would you ever pretend that you don't have any? Yeah. Would you tell people that, I need you to know your opinion? Yeah, things like this. Okay. So here I read this again. You know what would happen if you would customarily say to people, I'm probably the most skilled practitioner in the field of anywhere on the East Coast. You immediately expect them to go away and say, that conceited jackass. Yeah, that's a stupid moron. That's what you think they'd say. But that isn't what they actually say. They say, well, he's pretty cocky. That means some kind of cheeky. Yeah? Well, he's pretty cocky. Well, he's probably an expert. Of course, he's hell to talk to or something like that. But he probably is. You should track some of these actual reactions because people would like you to think that certain responses happen and that everybody knows they happen. And then there are the reactions that actually occur. For instance, once there was a very homely girl. Homely means not very attractive. For instance, once there was a very homely girl who used to tell everybody with great confidence how beautiful she really was. And it would startle them to such an extent that they would think their powers of perception were bad. She had more boyfriends than you could count. She used to spend all her time telling them how lucky they were too. Fascinating business. What everybody knows is true, generally isn't. So that's something we should really keep in mind, right? To stop with our self-invalidation. It's no good to reduce your own value, to talk bad about yourself. You must stop doing, you should really, you must not say something that actually reduces your own value, your own space you have. Yeah. So that's something we all need to learn. That's not good. If others are invalidating you, okay, you need to learn something about the toxic personalities, how to avoid them, how to handle them, how to respond to an invalidation that somebody is saying to you. But first of all, you should become a friend of yourself. Yeah, so you could actually make a list. That's my way of doing it. You could make a list and, put everything on the list where you think, oh, I'm not good enough. Yeah. So of course, we all need to learn. We need to improve ourselves every day. We can learn something new, but to talk bad about yourself to others, and also if you tell yourself things like, I'm such an idiot, yeah, I should have known that better, I'm so stupid. Don't do that. That's no good. Yeah. So that's the first message today we have here. Stop with all self-invalidation. It's not right. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to tell you or read to you is called self-trust. Yeah, that's also important regarding self-confidence. So self-trust. A man is as alive as he has dreams. If a man loses his last dream, you've got a corpse on your hand. What's the commonest? How do I pronounce that? Communist. That sounds like communist. Okay, so what's the commonest thing that you hear from people? I lost my illusions. And the word illusions gets defined here. So I will give you that definition of illusion. An illusion is something such as an idea or concept that a person creates or puts forth as an actuality, which he intends will take place. Yeah, so you can have illusions and you could say, or I will become an author, I will write a book, and I will become very famous. Yeah, so that would be an illusion if you're not a famous author yet. So yeah, that would be an example of an illusion. Yeah. So, okay. What's the commonest thing that you hear from people? I lost my illusions. I haven't any illusions anymore. They know what's wrong with them. They've lost their illusions. They're telling you in just that many words. They lost themselves when they lost their illusions. And a man is as dead when the last of his dreams is dead. And that's about the long and short of it. You go down to Skid Row. That's the place where the homeless are living. That's Skid Row. You go down to Skid Row. You find out that they don't have any dream anymore of having anything. There isn't anything they can be except a bum, somebody who's homeless. We go down to the prison. We'll find out that the criminal uniformly has lost his self-respect. And when we ask him what his self-respect is, and ask him rather closely, he says, one day I found I couldn't trust myself. How did you find that out? I struck my mother. So he beated up his mother, right? I struck my mother. Or I found out that I betrayed a friend or did something. Therefore, I was no longer worth anything. He didn't measure it in terms of how many possessions he had. The lousiest criminal didn't measure it in the terms of how much he owned. He measured it in this degree. He said, I have discovered that there was a bad experience for which I was cause, and I thereafter cannot be anything because I won't permit myself to be anything. All you have to do is to rehabilitate a man's belief in himself. It's so simple. He's lost it. The world around a child is bright, bright world. A child comes in with the idea that he's free. He has a new start. He's got a new chance. He will make a go of it and so on. He's got that new hope. And that child goes downhill and becomes impossible to the degree that he loses that hope. So what you can actually see here is that our illusions in life, our dreams and goals, you know, are so fundamental, are so vital for our, you know, for our being alive. Yeah, if you want to be alive, if you want to feel alive, you really have to have goals and dreams. And what does he say? That those type of illusions can get lost when we do something. He gave this example. This was a very short reference, but I think it's quite intense. The things here you should look at closer is that, or he says, when we go down to the prison, we find out that the criminal uniformly has lost his self-respect. So, and why did they lose their self-respect? Why? And then he's talking to somebody who's criminal and lost his self-respect. He did something wrong, obviously, and therefore, he says, I was no longer worth anything. I couldn't trust myself. Yeah. So what can we learn from that? You tell me this, you know, how can you apply this in life? If we can lose our self-trust because we do things we later regret, you know. That's some point I find quite interesting about this. And also how important our dreams are. So when you have lost some of your dreams, if you think that you will never, you know, make it in life, that you will never find the women of your dreams, you will never get the job you always wanted to have, if you think that you can never become happy, if you think that you won't be able to, you know, be successful, whatever you were dreaming of. So if you think so, what can you do about this? What do you think? What can you do about it? The easiest thing you can do is to learn something new, things you didn't know before, right? Because with knowledge in life, we can actually do something. So I bet that in every part of your life where you feel very competent, where you have self-confidence, you know, you are quite sure about what you're doing. You have a lot of, you know, training and knowledge, and you know that those things can happen and how to prevent them from happening. All these things, you know. And so in this part of your life, you feel competent because of the knowledge you have. Yeah. And so I want to give you more knowledge. That's what we are here for at BestYou. And I would like to show you 2 books. The first one is called The Way to Happiness. It's written by L. Ron Hubbard. And the course I was just reading from is called How to Achieve Self-Confidence, based on the works of L. Ron Hubbard. So that's an in-house course. It's not an extension course, but of course we have an extension course for you. You can do from home. It comes together with a book. And there's another book, which is called A New Slant on Life. And this will actually give you a bunch of tools you can use to increase your self-confidence in life, because it will give you applicable knowledge. It's like a big toolbox you can open. It's about marriage. It's about relationship. It's about people. It's about work and success. It's about children. You know, it's all covered in these books. And yeah, I read them. I apply this knowledge every day in my life. And it feels so good when you become competent in life, you know, and you really know, oh, okay, if I do this, this will happen. And you don't need to believe what's written in these books, because it's applicable knowledge. It's for use. You can actually just apply it and use it. And then you can find out for yourself if it really works or not. Gina, thanks for sending a rose. That's so kind of you. So yeah, thanks for listening tonight. Andreas, thanks for being here in Zoom. And thanks for everybody on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Thanks. And all the Germans, please come back at 7 o'clock tonight. So alle Deutschen können gerne um 19 Uhr dabei sein. Dann gibt es das Ganze nochmal auf Deutsch. Thank you very much. Bye bye.